All right, Parlayed in Full, episode 1. Finally, bringing it to you about, 8 months late? 8 months late, but
It's been in the works for about a full calendar year now.
yeah, shout out to our loyal followers that have stayed following the Instagram account since draft night.
And the TikTok.
Yeah, and the TikTok. Actually did pretty well on the TikTok. But it's time to be active. It's football season. We've been waiting for a while for this, and we're going to get straight into it. I'm Gavin Darmus with my co-host,
Brendan Swan.
and today we're going to be talking the Jake Paul fight. We got college football, big slate this weekend. We'll touch on a little MLB. We'll talk about a little bit of the Drake album incoming tonight. And, of course, NFL, fantasy football. We plan on doing 2 episodes a week. That would be the goal. I'd say that's an attainable goal.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how it goes. So we're going to start Jake Paul fight. And that was national news. I feel like everyone, every age demographic was able to relate to that. They were interested in that.
Yeah, we were lucky enough to be live at it, watching it in person.
Shout out Connor Blakely.
Yeah, shout out
and
Brew.
Joe Brew for making that possible, by the way. But as what we were talking about last, there's nothing that compares to a live boxing event.
No. The fact that you had a hometown guy getting booed and then his cheers were just as loud as the boos created I'm still going to call it the queue. The queue was fucking rocking.
Oh, it was insane. I mean, even the intros for the undercards, the place was going nuts. I know Montana Love was from Cleveland, so there was a natural thing there. But even the second fight and the women's fight, Serrano and I forget her name, but
The lack of Mexican fighter.
yeah, it was just as electric as any event could be. It felt like an NBA Finals game almost being there for that. When the boos, when Jake Paul was first being announced and when they would show him on the big screen, how quickly they changed to cheers, or everyone who was booing stopped booing when he came up and he was in full Cleveland, like the hockey jersey mashed up with all the Cleveland things. It was insane. And I know there was a lot of slander on Twitter about it, like, oh, you paid for this, you paid to watch this. I couldn't imagine paying for this. It was a good fight.
Great fight. Woodley landed a good left or a good right. Jake Paul was quick, stealthy, in and out jabs. It looked like a true boxing fight, even though it was getting a lot of hate. That was my first boxing match I've ever seen in person,
Yeah, me too.
Not even at amateur level. And it was fucking awesome.
There's, I can't stress this enough, there's no comparing to watching it in person. I didn't even bet on it, and I was rooting for Jake, but it really wouldn't have changed my mood, whoever won. But still, I was sitting in my seat, stomach turning,
Yeah,
face
I had the
sweating.
chills for no reason.
Yeah, it's just incomparable, and I really hope he does another one in Cleveland. I would definitely want to be there.
Well, he's allegedly retired.
He said he's coming out, though.
Oh,
he wants to
nice.
fight Conor. He wants to fight McGregor.
Maybe in a few years, buddy.
Which I think, I will say it, that would be a good fight. And I know the narrative, the goalposts always get moved on Jake Paul fights. Before the fight, it's like, oh, this is his first real test. He hasn't fought anyone before. He's not going to come out of this one. And then he wins, and then it's like, oh, well, he still hasn't fought anyone good. He should have won this if he's a true boxer, this and that. The goalposts always move. And it's going to be the same thing with whoever his next opponent is. If it's Woodley again, it's going to be like, oh, Woodley knows how to bounce back from a loss. Woodley knows how to, make adjustments basically from fight to fight. And it would be the same with McGregor. It would be, oh, well, McGregor already trained for a boxing match against Floyd, where Floyd actually took it serious, maybe. And they're going to say, oh, Jake can't come out of that one. But then if he were to go on and win that, I don't have a prediction for that yet. It's up in the air. But if he were to go on to win that, it would be, oh, well, he's not a boxer still. He needs to fight a real boxer in his weight class. And it's just, it's going to happen with him. He's so polarizing. It's going to happen with him as he continues to go on. But I'm excited to see the journey no matter where it goes.
Yeah, I could already see the headlines or the tweets from the people with 3 followers, McGregor's washed, just like they're saying Woodley's washed.
Yeah.
Just to be fair, Woodley has lost his past 4 or 5 fights, but he was still UFC champion. He almost knocked Jake out. He has the power. He had the ability to win that fight.
And even if you're the biggest Jake hater, like, you can't even. He knows how to put on a show. He's one of the best entertainers in the world right now, and he put on a show in his hometown. And I bet you, either a lot of people that didn't like him from here and across the country, and a lot of people that didn't really know how to feel him here and across the country are now fans based on last weekend.
Yeah,
I think that's a safe assumption, just because he really repped Cleveland. Like, it wasn't just the jerseys, it wasn't just having the event here, but like,
or MGK, like the
yeah, he expressed his love for this place, and it is cool. Like, we've had a lot of great people, obviously, LeBron James being the biggest, Machine Gun Kelly, and they do rep Cleveland. They rep Cleveland really well, LeBron returning, but it's nice to have someone in like the influencer world where it's not just like an athlete that maybe
was forced to play here.
Yeah, he got drafted here, and it's an influencer, like, choosing to shed light on Cleveland and its suburbs, and like, not. He doesn't.
He could be the Miz. The Miz was from Cleveland. Now he says he's fighting out of L.A. or California.
Yeah, even Logan Paul, what his last fight, he said out of Puerto Rico, I think.
Yeah.
It's just nice to see an influencer like not get so lost in like the LA vibe and all that, to be able to still give credit to Cleveland and really rep it, and show a lot of people that like it's not impossible from here either. Like, they moved to LA and all that, but it's possible to build a following where you're at, whether it be Cleveland or anywhere across the country, and then you can move on to bigger places. But he's setting a good example. It was like, you always got to love home. You're always gonna return home, and the people at home will always love you too if you do right by them. And I think he definitely did right by them last weekend.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, so that's all we're gonna say about that. Jake Paul fight was outstanding. I had a lot of fun. One of the better nights we've had in a while.
Even though the after party didn't fall through, we're good though.
We're good. And so we're just gonna get right into college football, though. The real thing we've been waiting on for 5 or 6 months now, and it's a big card this weekend. It's a great opening weekend.
Possibly the best ever.
Yeah,
I know we've really only been following this for like a calendar year, like looking at every game. But
I mean, this is the first time Ohio State's really played a meaningful first game since, what was it, 2015? They played Virginia Tech after they had won the national title.
And they weren't even ranked. It's just because they lost to them.
They lost to Virginia Tech the year before, Michael Brewer. And they came back the next year. It was week 1. Urban Meyer wouldn't announce a starter, whether it be Cardale or JT Barrett. Braxton Miller's spin move was that game, and Ohio State ended up winning, and so forth. But Ohio State Minnesota is going to be a great game to start off on. I think Minnesota can come out with some fire tonight.
I honestly don't. I know there's been some weather problems in Minnesota, but it's a classic Ohio State. They always start off slow, but I mean, look at the receivers. I'm drawing a blank on them, but they're two.
Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave.
Yeah, they're two potential first round draft picks. CJ's a stud. The defense, inside sources telling me the defense might be a little shaky like last season, but
yeah,
too powerful on offense to even let a mid-tier Big Ten school fuck with them.
I think Minnesota's going to test them early, but I think as the game progresses, I think Ohio State just too overpowered on offense. And if I were to count on one defense from either side being able to get the big stop, make the big play, get a big turnover, it would definitely be Ohio State. And I think as the game goes on, Minnesota will test them early. They'll score. PJ Fleck's a great coach. He'll have them in the game. I would not.
He's bald, right?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't really mean anything, but I just wanted to know.
That makes me almost not think they're going to come out fast.
The Matt Nagy offense.
Yeah, Matt Nagy's just made a bad example of everyone that's bald.
It's unfair. It's really unfair. So there's been some great bald people.
Yeah, Robert Saleh still up in the air with the Jets.
I was thinking more like
very
celebrity-wise.
He's very
like
bald.
the dude from Cleveland.
Oh,
Steve Harvey.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. That's the first bald person that came to mind.
Steve Harvey just... He's an icon, though. Steve Harvey's everywhere. But yeah, I would stay away from anything first half. I think it's going to be close, but Ohio State, I think, takes care of business tonight.
Yeah. Whether they cover a spread, it's up in the air, but
also this
Buckeyes
weekend,
will be 1-0 by midnight tonight.
A Friday, this is great for a Friday game. North Carolina, Virginia Tech. A great ACC matchup to start off. Sam Howell, returning starter at North Carolina. I actually mentioned yesterday that I like the odds Sam Howell has placed at to win the Heisman, plus 500 was something like that.
I think it was higher than that.
Yeah, it might have been higher than that. He's a returning guy. Reminds me a lot of the Joe Burrow storyline. Not in this, like, he didn't transfer or anything, but still just a veteran quarterback with a team that was decently good last year. Almost, they made a little run. They were top 10 for a few weeks. And I just really like Sam Howell as a passer, and I think he's got that moxie, that big game.
Yeah.
He's going to show up, and I think he's a good value bet to win the Heisman this year. That's my, not really a dark horse, but kind of in between. And for that reason, I like North Carolina in this one.
Yeah, I think they're wearing the uniforms they put out on Twitter yesterday or earlier today. That's just going to be enough to get them through this game. Virginia Tech's always in for a good upset every season.
Tough game at home, too. Enter Sandman.
Yeah. Ooh.
I think the spread, if it was flipped, if North Carolina was at home, I really think it'd be a 3-point difference. I think they'd be favored by 8.5 instead of 5.5. Enter Sandman. Howard's a rock.
Sam Howell took the Bears pretty far, right? Wasn't he your quarterback?
No, that was Desmond Ridder.
Oh, okay.
Desmond Ridder, Madden franchise. Desmond Ridder, draft him. Sam Howell was, I think, the Saints. Draft Desmond Ridder though, Cincinnati. Also another good Friday night game. Another great Big Ten Week 1 matchup. Michigan State, Northwestern. Two teams that Northwestern favored by 3. Pat Fitzgerald, one of the best coaches in college football, but we don't know much about this Michigan State team. We still don't know who the quarterback's going to be. And, 3's a little close for me. I still think Northwestern pulls it out just based on Pat Fitzgerald and a solid team alone. But it's going to be a battle. That's going to be a trenches battle, a defensive battle.
Yeah, my buddy Petrowski over at Michigan State, donning the number 47 jersey, playing outside linebacker or end. He's the definition of just talented football guy. Will run through anybody, and that kind of describes the Big Ten. Unders, I swear, always seem to hit. But
this one's got a low.
This game has had some movement. I recall Katie tweeting about it. I'm trying to find it. It was at like 5.5 2 weeks before the game,
3.
and now it's 3.
What does that say?
I don't know if that says Northwestern is bad or Michigan State's just like going to be better. Montori Foster is supposed to get some snaps, another Eds alum, rocking the 83 this year. I think there's a center from Strongsville, or guard from Strongsville. So I actually like Michigan State in that one solely because of the relationships I know on the team. I'm not a big Northwestern guy. I think they're a bit pompous for my liking. Too smart, too cocky, too purple.
Another big Big Ten matchup this weekend, Penn State and Wisconsin. I am very intrigued by that game. I'm just never a believer in Wisconsin. Like, the fact that they can never get over the hump, beat Ohio State, make a playoff, all that, just makes me not ever want to take them in the regular season. But Penn State's also kind of the same way. Like, they've had...
Well, James Franklin's on the hot seat.
Yeah.
If they have another down year, there's no doubt in my mind that he's out.
I really think this game could be a game that sets the tone for the whole season. Like, I don't think that's an understatement, even though it's in week 1.
Not at all.
James Franklin is coaching for his career, basically. Not his career. He's coaching for his career at Penn State. And Wisconsin, I think, is in a state of complacency that, like, I'm not a big believer in them. We'll just keep it at that.
No, neither am I. I think it stems from like the pants they wear in warm-ups.
Yeah.
Like just something about it. I know Aurora does that too, but green and white. It's just something like Wisconsin acts in every single sport. They act like the audience needs to give them like respect, but they haven't like
They've
earned my respect.
Our whole lifetime.
No, they haven't been good
anything.
in anything.
Like,
They've just been like
they've had
good
running.
enough.
They've had good running backs and like a decent quarterback to get them through.
And just like a Russell Wilson season.
Yeah. They've had good running backs, good defense. They've had good defenses. I'll give them that.
Yeah, they have.
But other than that, I mean, they just haven't proven anything. Next game I want to get into, Alabama and Miami. It's another big Week 1 game. Miami's got a tough schedule this year.
Yeah, Derek King, he's going to be running for his life.
I don't see how this spread is 19.5.
You think it should be more or less?
More.
That's like a almost 3 touchdown game. I see it being like close. But it's Alabama at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think Miami even keeps up with them here. I might have to add that to my card for later. Pick 6 coming later.
Minus 1,200 money line. So that's never in the question.
Minus 19.5. I don't know if I'm missing something about Miami, but it doesn't seem like they're going to be that much better this year than they were last year.
No.
What else do we got?
Well, Derek, before we get off there, Derek King is, I think he had like the 7th highest Heisman odds. He's a talented quarterback that is enough to keep the U in the game, but it comes down to like the little things that Saban like teaches them at Alabama. Like the U is notorious for just like the thugs and other shit like that. The turnover chain, pretty hard. But the Tide are rolling, covering too.
Classic Big 12 over game. Texas Tech and Houston over under 64.5.
Yeah.
And I really do like the over. I think both teams score over 40 points.
Yeah, I wrote that down too.
This seems low too. I know it's Week 1, like there's no real basis for anything, but last year, and I still think I'm pretty sure, though, I can't remember correctly. I think I took the over on that game last year, and it didn't hit. Because I remember it was something ridiculous, like 68
Wait, they
and a
play
half.
Saturday?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was that high.
I know it was high, and I remember being like, oh, Big 12, Texas Tech, Houston, over.
No, they haven't played since 2018, but the score of that game was 63-49.
Maybe that's what. Yeah, it was something like that. Like that game just seems so familiar. Other good games we got.
It was in Energy Stadium, or no, this game is in Energy Stadium.
Georgia Clemson, a huge Week 1 matchup again. Week 1 really bringing it to us this year. Georgia Clemson favored by 3. I also,
before you say anything, the DJ Ulatui dude.
Ukulele.
Yeah, ukulele. I think he's got way too much fucking hype right now. Like,
yeah,
Clemson's a great program, but
he
like,
was young. He didn't. What did he really prove last year?
He really
they lost
didn't
to
play all
Notre
that
Dame,
well.
didn't they?
Yeah, and they were struggling against who'd they play the game after Notre Dame?
I remember that.
I think it was Pitt, like for a weird reason.
Yeah.
No, it definitely wasn't Pitt.
It was some oddball team, and they ended up winning. They ended up pulling
Boston College.
They ended up pulling out pretty easily.
Yeah.
But
the first half they looked pretty shit with them.
I still would. I would stay away from that, actually. I take back anything I was going to say.
Can we go to the Indiana-Iowa game?
Indiana-Iowa, another Big Ten. Good Big Ten game.
Just for one reason. Stat line, Iowa, they're ranked pretty high this season. They lead. They have the longest streak with points given up. In the last 22 games, they've held opponents to 24 points or less. And the over-under is 46. So you're banking on Iowa not being able to score two. The Indiana.
You're also banking on Indiana not scoring more.
I mean, it's consistent here. Like 22 games is
a 24-20 game hits the under, and I think that's very doable.
Yeah. Maybe there's weather too. I don't know. It is in Iowa, I believe. The little wave. It's always just good for the heart.
Sunday, two of my least favorite teams match up: Notre Dame and Florida State. That's such a Sunday game. Of course, Notre Dame plays probably on CBS on a Sunday. Like
ABC.
ABC on a Sunday. Like, what? That's so Notre Dame,
Yeah,
and every obnoxious Notre Dame fan gets to now spend their Sunday only watching Notre Dame.
And that is the only game on Sunday,
yeah, like
too.
That's such a Notre Dame thing. The entitlement. Like, I just can't stand it.
And I know Notre Dame's going to win this game easily.
Oh, yeah. And
that just makes it worse.
And I hate that I have to say it, but Notre Dame's going to cover 7 by a lot. And I might regret saying that. Because it would be very Notre Dame for me to finally back them on something, and then they just totally, like, fall apart. Which I would be happy about that happening, mad about my pick. So I might just stay away from this game to... Actually, you know what? I'll put the mush on. I will bet a -7. I will take a -7. Why?
Hopefully they don't Bosco.
Whatever... Yeah, they would... They will... They always Bosco me, no matter what. Like... Their fans Bosco me just by me looking at them. Notre Dame fans, worst fan base in all of sports.
Which is a shame. My godfather is a big Notre Dame guy. Goes to like 5 games a season. Yeah.
That's just a shame. I mean, and the fact that they're playing Florida State too, like Florida Gator rival, like
Jameis, like the famous lobster leg.
Yeah, I hate Florida State. I hate Notre Dame. I hate the fact that I have to watch that game. I still will take the -7 though. Let the record show. I'm a businessman first. The cost of doing business, sometimes you got to bet for your least favorite teams, which that also applies to the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, a big card this weekend. That about covers it all. We got some good games in between tonight. We'll get to the pick six later on, but first, there's a reason I'm in a Dodgers shirt and a Dodgers hat. They took the division lead yesterday.
Oh, did they?
All these months,
wow.
Yeah. All these months sitting behind this Giants team full of veterans. They could never just gain ground. Whenever the Giants would lose, the Dodgers would lose. Whenever Dodgers won, Giants won. It seemed complacent at about anywhere from 3 to 7 games the whole year. Then all of a sudden, Giants play Milwaukee, Dodgers play Atlanta. Both playing division leaders. I know Milwaukee about 11 games better than Atlanta right now. But still, division leaders, tough games. Dodgers played a couple of close games. And finally, they're tied atop the leaderboard. And I think that's only a sign of things that come. I think the Dodgers win this division. Obviously, they're the overwhelming favorite to win the World Series. Picking up Scherzer and Turner at the deadline to add on to an already ridiculous roster. They still don't have Clayton Kershaw back. Trevor Bauer's just completely counted out. And
the old pussy puncher.
Yeah, he's that situation's just so like fucked that
you just gotta laugh at it.
You refuse to comment. Like he just can't come back to play. There's just no way. Like even if court goes through and it like comes out that she like wanted that done, I don't want to give an opinion on this for sake of being wrong somewhere. But if it comes out that like, oh, actually, she comes out and says, oh, actually, I wanted all this. I am totally lying just to get money, which is not what she's doing. But if she were to, how do you still let him back in the locker room after all that information comes out? Like, do you not look at this guy like, dude, you are the weirdest person on planet?
That's just the biggest bonk of all time.
Yeah, it's like, all right, dude, you're just a fucking lunatic.
He jabbed.
And we already knew he was fucking weird. Like, the drone incident in the World Series, the whole
his whole the ball when
his whole contract saga last year, which was just so ridiculous. Now he's not even gonna be in the league. 2-year ban pending. But like,
I just had a thought. What if he's like notorious for punching girls in their vagina? So he negotiated that contract because he's like, oh, one day like someone will find out that I just love punching.
But wasn't it like some weird contract, like it was a 1 year at a time? Like, isn't that what he did so he could earn more money like each year, like renew a 1-year deal with a bunch of options? If it was, like, that's just, he's stupid and he deserves to get fucked by his contract because there's no way he should be getting paid. Like, how do you even, it's just a topic that is just out of sight, out of mind for Dodgers fans. Like, we're just acting like he doesn't exist, and we're top the division without him. There's really no need for him at this point. Urias pitching great. Walker Buehler is going to win the Cy Young.
As a new Padres fan, just came out. I hate the Dodgers and everything about them, but I hate baseball. Well, I love baseball, but similar to like Europe, how soccer, like the rich teams will continue to stay like relevant. There will never be years that like, well, not to say never. Yeah. The Rays are consistently like good even though they have nobody. But like the Yankees will remain relevant until something happens. They get canceled. The word Yankee becomes offensive. I don't like baseball for that reason. I'll be honest with you, I'd rather see the Giants win the division, but the Dodgers go farther in the playoffs. I don't want to give the Dodgers like the satisfactory of winning the division.
It was so overshadowed when the Giants were winning the division, though. Like, when the trades were made for Scherzer and Turner, everyone was just kind of like, okay, the Dodgers are going to win it. The Dodgers are going to win it all, even if they just get the 1-game wild card. But baseball is such a weird sport. Like, that one game, anything could happen. That's why I want the security of the division. I don't want it to come down to one game. And even though with Buehler and Scherzer, you're likely to win that one game, I don't want it to come down to that. I'd rather play the winner of the Giants and the Reds, which I might regret this later on. I'm not too threatened by either of those teams in a 5-game series. And then, I mean, the winner of Atlanta and Milwaukee is going to lose to whoever. If it's Giants-Dodgers in the NLCS and then Brewers-Reds, as it stands right now, whoever wins that Giants-Dodgers series is winning that NLCS and going to the World Series. There's just no doubt.
I don't know if the Brewers wouldn't have home field advantage there, right? Or would they? Because I don't remember how that works.
If it was Dodgers-Brewers, they would not. If it was Giants-Brewers, they would. If the Giants get the wild card and the Dodgers win the division.
Okay. I don't know. Something about playing indoors, like, in the postseason is, like, makes me a little scared. You remember the one game the
Dodgers won last year indoors, though. Remember? In Texas.
COVID year. It's a fat asterisk, unfortunately. You remember the one Indians game? It got snowed out, and they flew to Milwaukee to play in their stadium, but no fans were there. I got to look this up.
How long ago?
A while. We were alive though.
Eric Wedge.
Yeah. Him or before Eric Wedge.
Another division, keep an eye on. NL East, Braves, Phillies. I'm counting the Mets out. They're so bad. It's like whoever gets atop the NL East is just cursed.
Dude, it was 2007.
Yeah, it'd be Eric Wedge.
Yeah.
The year we went to, we lost, blew a 3-1 lead to Boston.
Joe Borowski was the starting pitcher that game.
Big Joe.
There was only 2 inches of snow on the field in Cleveland, but Grady Sizemore, Pronk hit a home run. Listen to these names. Kelly Shopak and Casey Blake. I fucking hated Casey Blake. Even at the same time, I liked him.
Kelly Shopak was my favorite player. I used to wear 2 armbands on my thing, and he wore a light blue one, and he hit a walk-off one game. And so for the rest of baseball season, we had green uniforms, and I wore a light blue armband for Kelly Shopak. Casey Blake. He went to the Dodgers after that.
Yeah,
played third base for a little bit.
Strange how I just remembered that. I'm pretty sure my dad and I watched that game for a little bit just to see the Indians be at home in another.
We had a solid team. It was no fluke us going to the ALCS that year and going to 7 games. Casey Blake, Johnny Peralta,
Hot to Trot on the
Trot
team.
Nixon. I think David DeLucci was still there.
UCF
Kenny
Lofton. Game is postponed already.
Kenny Lofton came back.
Or delayed, I mean.
UCF is?
Yeah.
Damn.
Probably Hurricane.
Yeah. Well, yeah, game started at 6. I forgot about that. They're playing Boise.
Dude, Jensen Lewis was on that team.
Jensen Lewis.
CC
Rafael
was still
Betancourt.
there.
Rafael Perez. CC.
Victor Martinez.
Victor. Ben Francisco, maybe.
Chu was a young
Was Asdrubal there yet?
Yeah, he was there.
He
was young
Johnny
as hell.
Peralta.
He was only 21 that year.
David DeLucci, Kenny Lofton,
Jake Westbrook.
Jake Westbrook. He was a good pitcher.
I still have one of his cards.
He was a good pitcher. We always had good pitchers, and we never.
Lofton was there. That had to have been his last season or 2?
I remember because that postseason they came out with those long sleeves and those sleeves that had it was red almost like dots, but they were squares down the thing. I remember that vividly. They were horribly ugly, but so 2007. Let's talk about the Indians for a little bit, actually.
Yeah, sure, fuck it.
66 and 64.
A lot better season than I thought, even with making the trades.
They're 7.5 back of the wild card with a lot of teams. It's out of the question. But
there's a month left of baseball. They're 7-3 their last 10.
I will say
winners
this, though.
of 3 in a row in an easy division. I don't know how schedules shape up, but
I think
who knows?
I think they're done this year.
Never been an optimist?
No, never been an optimist. But I will be an optimist right now. Shane Bieber and Aaron Savali coming back next year with Plesac the way he's been. Well, Plesac's been inconsistent, but McKenzie the way McKenzie's pitching, Plesac as the 4th starter, and then.
You think McKenzie would get the 3rd?
Nah, it'd still be Plesac, but
yeah.
McKenzie's been all right, and then Cal Quantrill's been lights out. He's looked like an ace. So that's a rotation that it might sound outlandish now, but look back over time, we consider that rotation of Kluber, Carrasco, Bauer, Clevenger, and Josh Tomlin is the greatest rotation of baseball.
That was fucking crazy.
It was ridiculous. But I don't think it's far-fetched to say that this rotation of Bieber, Cy Young winner, Aaron Savali was great last year, good this year. Tristan McKenzie's been dominant his last 2 or 3 starts. Zach Plesac's as good as a 4th starter, 3rd starter you're going to find in this league. And Cal Quantrill's been absolutely lights out. That's a rotation that it easily carries you to the playoffs. And our offense has been better this year than it has in years past. I don't think it's far-fetched to say getting those pitchers back and hopefully staying healthy on offense. Ahmed Rosario only taking steps forward.
His defense is too much of a liability.
Getting a full year of Bobby Bradley.
He's got to move to second base.
Ahmed, yeah.
Yeah.
Getting a full year of Bobby Bradley. Harold Ramirez staying healthy, hopefully.
Yeah. Dude, Straw. Straw's been insane.
A full year of Miles Straw.
His defense. The Indians next season, I could already see it as just the same old Indians. Good pitching, good defense, average-ass hitting.
Yeah. I think we're going to be better. I think we're going to be better hitting next year, though, than we were in 2018 and 2019 and 2020. Like, I don't think that's not tough to beat. We were horrible.
Really
we were horrible at hitting them. I think the Indians are a playoff team next year without a doubt. I think they compete with Chicago for the division. Chicago's just really good though.
Wait, hold on. What place are the Marlins in?
Last.
By how
55 and
much?
78, a half game.
Dude, I remember this conversation
Nationals,
vividly.
Marlins, yeah.
I'm playing. I got drafted by the Marlins. MLB The Show, shooting the shit. The Marlins team in the show ended up going pretty far. Me, Gavin, and our other roommate Cooper were talking about it. I say the Nationals finish last, and Marlins won't finish last in that division. They think it's ludicrous of me to say something like that.
And I
but
said the Marlins
it's
are
close.
the worst team. It's close, but like the Nationals traded their. When this was said, Max Scherzer was still a National, Trey Turner was still a National, Kyle Schwarber was still a National.
I mean, what can I say?
What can you say is that the Marlins should be better than the Nationals now. Nationals have the worst roster in baseball.
No,
After
that's
maybe
not
the
true.
Pirates,
The
Orioles, and Diamondbacks. Nationals have the worst roster in this division, though. The Marlins are a better team on paper. They should be better. I will stick by that, though. If those guys stay Nationals, there's no chance the Marlins beat them in the division.
Baseball is baseball. The Mets sneakily have won 3 games in a row as well.
Yeah, big doubleheader win for them. All right, you ready for the pick 6?
Yeah.
All right. So, pick 6, how this will work. Each episode, we give 6 picks for the weekend. We'll keep track of each other's scores. Pushes will count as a push, like a tie. We'll keep track of records at the end of the year, at the end of every month, we'll say. We'll do it at the end of September. At the end of every month, there will be some type of punishment / maybe a reward for whoever wins. Yet to be determined, that will be a surprise. But pick 6, our first one. You want me to go first? We'll go back and forth. I'll give one, you give one.
Yeah, let's just fire them off.
I'm
2
going,
futures, too. We're adding in.
Yeah, that doesn't
Not
count towards the
normally,
pick 6, but just 2 futures.
So we'll be saying 8 picks,
8 picks.
6 count.
Ohio State minus 14 is my first one. Or minus 13.5 is my first one.
Similarly, I got Ohio State first half minus 7. They're like 14-2-1, 14-1-2 in their last 17 first half spreads. The statistics guy through and through, big numbers guy. Ohio State first half minus 7.
My second pick, Alabama minus 19.5 over Miami. That was something I just added as we were looking at this.
That's so
You
soft.
can tell by my reaction. How is that?
That's pretty much just.
It's a pick, man. It's a spread. Like I'm not picking the money line.
That's a rookie. That's just some rookie shit. But
it's a spread. They have even odds.
I digress. My next one, NC State minus. I wrote down 14, but I think it's supposed to be 19. Never been a big USF guy after Ed's quarterback went there, got beat out by the dude who was homeless for a few years. Put up pretty good career statistics. NC State, what's their mascot? Sparky?
Is it the one that just...
Yeah, well
it's a mascot game, isn't it? Yeah.
It's just some good colors, too. Wolfpack. I'm pretty sure they're wearing their new uniforms. Pinstripe, gray jerseys, brick numbers. Quarterback's really fucking talented. NC State minus 19.
Oregon and Fresno, I'm going to go under 64.
Under
64.
Wow.
Yeah. Kayvon Thibodeau, probably number 1 overall pick in the draft next year. Oregon's got a good defense. I'm not too convinced on how good their offense will score. I would not take them minus 20.5, but I will take the under, and I think they win. Based on defense, which under 64 is a high number.
It is.
Fresno is good, though, so I'm not insanely confident with that pick, but...
So you're not a rider?
No, he took the under. Rico took the under.
He took the under?
Yeah, for the same reason I am a rider. He kind of convinced me to flip.
Okay. Well,
Remember he said hate their quarterback, Anthony Brown?
yeah, I actually do remember that. I'm a rider myself. Bigger rider than Gavin, but
I don't think so.
statistics will show. Taking Wake Forest minus 31 against Old Dominion. Few reasons. Soccer guy I know goes to Old Dominion. Save my comments. Old Dominion might be the worst program of all time. And since 2003, Old Dominion has the worst cover percentage in all of Division I football. FBS? FCS?
FBS.
FBS.
Fourth pick, North Carolina minus 5.5 over Virginia Tech. For the same reasons I mentioned earlier. Love Sam Howell, Mac Brown. I'm not threatened by Enter Sandman, although it will make me a little nervous. But I think that's a good Friday night game. I think North Carolina takes care of business and gets off to what I think will be a good season for them.
My fourth, brought it up when we were talking about the slate. Indiana versus Iowa, under 46. I'm riding with trends. Another statistic.
Penultimate pick.
Nice.
I got
That's a nice word.
I got an Ohio State guy. I'm gonna roll with him on this, Ryan. If you're listening, you know you gave me this one. It's your fault if it loses. Ohio State, Minnesota over 62 or under. Yeah, over 62. Over 62. Defense. Ohio State defense a little shaky. Minnesota, like I said earlier, gonna come out and score early. It's a high number, but yeah, over 62. Fifth pick.
I'll make this one my fifth pick. Kent State versus Texas A&M, over 67.
I was gonna say that.
I'm donning the Kent State Golden Flashes. My dad went to school there. Both of my sisters graduated from there. They had one of the best offenses in football last season. Know a few guys on the team. Hate a few guys on the team. And A&M it's at Kyle Field too. That's one of the best. Like, I swear every time I watch an A&M game at Kyle Field, the over hits. So, roll Flashes, over 67.
My last pick. This is just switched. I'm gonna go.
Well, you can do your futures first if you want.
No, I got it. I'm gonna go Florida minus 23.5. And I hate it because I feel like every time I bet Florida against the spread last year, they didn't cover. So, but it's a new year, and yeah, I'll stick with that. Florida minus 23.5, my last pick.
Do you think the mobile quarterback can get it done?
No,
Okay.
I don't.
I just needed to know that.
Florida Atlantic is Florida Atlantic.
I was very tempted to take Florida Atlantic spread just based on his response to that question. But
I wouldn't blame you.
I'm going to roll with the Mullets. I love Coastal Carolina's Viceroy Twitter account. He tweeted something like, if you haven't drank a sip of alcohol yet, you're a part of the problem. And the tweet was already out at 9:30 in the morning. That's just quality content. The Citadel, I respect the troops, but they suck. Coastal Carolina minus 33. The Mullets and McCall get it done. Again, Citadel just awful. Last year they gave up 49 points to Clemson literally in the first half. Almost in the first quarter. It was like 35-0 first quarter. You want to do futures?
Yeah, you want me to start?
I got mine ready if you're not ready.
I'm ready. I'll give them both and you give both since it's only two. You see it right in front of me. Oregon to win the Pac-12, and big risk here. I mean, not big risk, but just not a likely pick here. Florida to win the SEC. And I don't know why. I just talked about how I'm not confident in them, but at plus, 1,300? Plus 1,500?
1,300.
Plus 1,300, I mean, I'll take that any day. Florida to win the SEC, Oregon to win the Pac-12.
All right, the Kent State football program has been disrespected. Josh Cribbs went there. Julian Edelman went there. They had one really good season. They had two really good, talented running backs that didn't get the credit they deserved. Neither of them went to the NFL, shamefully. But so I'm going to take Kent State over 5.5 wins. Even if they don't get any wins in the non-conference, they will dominate the MAC just due to their offense. I wish there was a prop Kent State over team total points for a season, because I would put my child on that number for the over.
I would ride that as well.
The next one, Wisconsin under 9.5 wins.
Love that. Love to hear that.
I don't know how this number is so high. They played 12 games. There's no way they're going 10-2. There's just absolutely no way. There's no logic behind this. I just think this number is too high at an even odds. Another one I wrote down, I'm just going to say it. Doesn't count for anything. But Kent to win the MAC is plus 850. If you want to toss like a $5 on it, I see some good value in that. I'm not saying to do it.
No, this is just picks.
Just see some value in it.
No telling. But I do like the Kent. I wish there was a Kent State over points. That was a good thing last year. MAC football was awesome last year.
Yeah.
I'll just say that. MACtion was my favorite part of the week. But there was a pick six.
War.
That about does it for the episode. I'd say it's a good start.
Great start. Hopefully the audio comes out good.
Yeah. It's still a work in progress. Obviously the set's a little thrown together. We will get things better here. Audio will be figured out. Set will be figured out. We will have next week. This weekend we have reaction to Certified Lover Boy by Drake. It's highly anticipated. I can't wait for tonight.
Fuck
we will
Kanye.
have a fantasy football. Let's relax with the fuck Kanye. Love them both. We will have a fantasy football episode next week, talking about our teams, talking about our picks, what we think for the season. And then we'll have our big NFL preview episode next week, which is self-explanatory. It's going to be a huge episode.
Bold predictions, stupid predictions.
I cannot wait to talk NFL. I get the chills thinking about Browns.
Poopy Lamar.
And then also coming, we'll have Instagram videos like we did at the draft. We want to get more of that in. We want to do some things outside, go to some live events, create some noise, just like we did the draft. Everyone seemed to like that. So we got a ton coming, and